What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video. I made another trade. That's right, I made another trade, and we're going to dig into everything that I received from good buddy Chris W., who has been featured in live streams. I'm going to show you guys what I gave up in the trade, which was necessary, but awfully sad to see go. Before I begin, in earnest, let me tell you thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You guys allow me to make more and better videos, so thanks for all of your support as always. But anyway, I traded to Chris W. a figure in exchange for 3 CGC-graded comics, modern Star Wars comics that are fairly minor keys, but I thought that we would take a look at them. The first one that I received from Chris is this one. This is a second printing of Bounty Hunters, Star Wars Bounty Hunters #1. This is the second print, as you can see right there, and then also it shows it on the bar tab there, second printing. It's got a great cover with Boba Fett on there. Now, this has been, there was 3 printings total. I'll show you the third print in a second. I do not have any of the first prints, but this series started with #1 and covered a number of different bounty hunters from the Star Wars universe. Basically focused on Valance, who you guys have probably seen in other comics. This is the first appearance of Valance's kind of mentor, which her name was Nakano Lash, and she has kind of an interesting story arc where she trained Valance and then betrays him, and this story kind of covers his revenge. It's basically a fairly typical story arc of a revenge arc where Nakano Lash is being sought after by Valance and Boba Fett and Bosk and a number of other different bounty hunters from the Star Wars universe. And the first printings are actually a little bit more demand. The second printing is not that expensive. But the first printing has a number of different covers, which I'm going to show you here in an insert, which I'll put down here. But the most sought after one is the Johnson cover. That is a 1 in 50 ratio variant. That means for every 50 of the first printings, which I'll show you in a second in another insert, there was only one of these Johnson inserts. And those are big money. They go for anywhere from $650 to $800, just given that they're 1 in 50 ratio variants. And so that's probably the most sought after one. It's a really cool cover that's got Boba Fett on the cover with some reflections of the other bounty hunters in the story arc kind of reflecting in his visor. So that's a great one. There's a number of other first printings that I'm going to show you now. There's the standard cover that has Valance on the cover surrounded by the other bounty hunters. That one is not terribly expensive. You're probably looking about $100 for that one. There's also the gold variant cover. The gold is actually referring to the last name of the cover artist, but it also happens to be a gold cover. So you can see in the artwork there that it's got nice kind of gold colors to it, and also features Valance on the cover. And then there's a couple of other really interesting covers that you can see in this insert. There's the photo variant cover that shows Boba Fett and IG-88 on the Star Destroyer, where Vader is hiring them to try and find the Millennium Falcon. That's from Empire Strikes Back. And there's also the Andrews cover, which shows Boba Fett flying. And then there's also a movie poster variant, which I didn't include in here. That's the Sprouse cover variant that shows the Millennium Falcon escaping from the gigantic worm in Empire Strikes Back. And there's also a blank cover variant. I already had in my collection the third printing. So it's just a slightly different color variation. And it's just a little bit more muted with the colors. Basically, it's highlighting the blaster fire or the fire that Boba Fett is blocking with his wrist gauntlet, but Boba Fett himself is just got a little bit less detail to him, and you can see down here where it says third printing. So this is the third printing that came out a month later in November of 2020, and I'll just do a quick comparison so you guys can see the differences in the color. So there you go. But nice to have these two. I'd love to get a first printing at some point. But thank you again to Chris for the awesome second print of Bounty Hunters #1. The second comic that I picked up in this trade is the one in the middle here. This is Volume 2, Issue number 1 for Dr. Aphra. This came out in June of 2020. I already had the more common cover variant, which is over here on the left. And then this is issue number 2 from the same volume. So it was nice to pick up this cover variant. And this is actually, in my opinion, a much better cover than the one I already had. But let's take a quick look at this one. This is also the same artist who did the one I already had in my collection, Valentina Reminar. So it's a Reminar variant cover. What a cool cover, though. It's got Dr. Aphra there in kind of a snow jacket sitting on a boat, it looks like. And I guess that's a boat. I can't tell. And then it's got a Wookiee and some really cool spiky armor. He looks like he's from Mad Max, to be honest with you. But a really cool one. And in terms of other cover variants, there is the Ashley Winter cover. That one is super nice and a lot more expensive than the ones you see in front of you. She's wearing a Hoth Stormtrooper disguise with her helmet kind of in her hands. There's also the Sprouse cover variant that is also very nice. That one goes for about the same price as these. And then the third variant is very similar to the one on the left here. It's called the Diamond Distributors cover variant or incentive variant. And basically, Diamond Distributors, for those that don't follow comics, they distribute all the comics or most of the comics in the U.S. for all the different publishers to the local comic shops. So they have some incentive covers occasionally where, you know, I'm assuming that it's for local comic shops that buy large orders, large volumes from Diamond, and so they provide them with some kind of incentives as a thank you. And it looks just like this one, this cover variant. Again, this is by the same artist as the one I just got from Chris, Valentina Reminar. A cool cover, but I like the other one better. This one's a little bit busy, for my opinion, but it looks just like this one, except instead of the advertisement, it's got the Diamond logo on the back, the Diamond Distributors logo on the back. So it's just like a, you know, some sort of incentive for local comic shops as a thank you. And those do go for quite a bit of money. They'll go for about double what the normal version does. And, you know, really all three of these, it goes for about, I'd say 125 to 150, but it's nice to add yet another Dr. Aphra to my graded comic collection. The third and final graded comic that I received in the trade from Chris is Star Wars Darth Vader issue number 6 from December of 2020. This features the first cameo appearance of Ochiev Bestoon. And if you guys don't know who that is, he was a Sith assassin. And he was actually in the Rise of Skywalker film. And he was dead. I don't know if you guys remember that scene where Rey and Poe and Finn, they fell into kind of that sand trap in Rise of Skywalker. And there was a dead assassin, Sith assassin, who had a lot of the, you know, the map to get back to the Death Star. That was Ochiev Bestoon. And so he's a Sith assassin. His first cameo appearance in comics was in this issue. And this is actually the first printing. I'm going to put an insert right now with the second printing, which I would argue is probably more desirable than this one. And the market seems to agree with me since it goes for a little bit more. But that second printing of Vader number 6 actually features Ochiev Bestoon on the cover. And that one goes for, you know, a slight premium versus this one. Although this cover is really nice. So let's take a closer look at this one. This just shows Into the Fire, The Punishment. And this was by In-Hyuk Lee. I don't know how to pronounce her name, In-Hyuk Lee. She's a really famous artist who does a lot of different great covers, not only in Star Wars universe, but in Spider-Man and Venom and things like that. I think Venom. I could be wrong on that, but I've seen a number of her different covers. I believe she's also done Something is Killing the Children. Just an awesome artist and one of the hotter cover artists out there right now. But this is a great cover. I love the way it looks with Palpatine kind of electrifying Vader. But that second print is pretty desirable. Now, excuse my voice. The next issue, Vader number 7, has the first full appearance of Ochiev Bestoon. And the first print of that one shows Vader's face kind of up close with the helmet off. And then the second print shows Vader repairing himself with some damage that he's got to his arm and is also his leg. I've actually got 2 raw copies of that are just absolutely flawless that I'd like to send in to get graded if CGC can get their act together. So But a really nice cover, and again, it's got kind of a minor, another minor key with the first cameo appearance of that Sith assassin, and then you guys have already seen this one. This is the first full appearance of the Grand Inquisitor in Darth Vader #6 from an earlier series in December of 2017. So here are all 3 comics that I received from Chris W. What did I give up? That's the big question, right? Well, I'll put an insert up right now that shows it. This is the Lily Letty Overstock Emperor's Royal Guard, graded 85 by Collector Archive Services. What's unique about this one is that this one has a non-sonic welded head that is painted. And I had 2 of these I got these graded a long time ago. I have 2 of these, and one of them is unpainted, unpainted visor. This one was painted, and they go for big money now. It was just mind-blowing to see what they sold for on one of them that was ungraded, sold on Deal or No Deal Group fairly recently. So I decided it was okay to get rid of one of them. So Chris, I hope you enjoy it. And thank you again for the awesome trade. The comics are just beautiful, really nice cover art here on all 3 of these issues. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe for future content. Thanks you again for watching, and I'll be back soon.